Alright, everybody, we are back with some more TNT Championship Season 2 2023. We have a quarterfinals match here, R22 against Urbane Olive. And to let everybody know kind of where the tournament is at, who qualified, we've got... If I press the right button here, yeah. Okay, so Sasha versus Lego Man was one match. R22 versus Urbane Olive is what we're about to get into. Melvin Fro versus Mishi. And Evil Murloc versus Tatanka. So that is how everything shook out after the group stage. And we are about to hop into R22 versus Urbane Olive here. It's going to be a best of 7. And yeah, and that's all there is to it. The winner qualifies into the semifinals, and the loser is out of the tournament. So, without any further ado, checking everything looks good. Yeah, let's hop into game number 1 here. R22 was looking very solid in those previous matches we saw against Zen. R22 over in the left-hand side, and in the bottom, Urbane Olive. R22 actually with ferrets this time around, but other than that, the deck looks pretty similar. I feel like he really enjoys the moles and the cams and are strong with them. Urbane on the other side of the map, though, also has moles and falcons. Squirrel, mole, falcon, I mean, it's just a very solid core. Into the badger, though, for the late game here from Olive. And really excited how this one's going to shake out. Nice winter map here. Olive might be doing some mole shenanigans. I feel like he's one of the only ones who really still understands how to do this 100%. It's one of those things that just takes a little bit of practice to understand the timing, because, you know, seconds can really make a difference. And look at that sell, by the way. That was so clutch from R22. Sold just in time to get the 60 food back. But it always really impresses me, you know, when players, like, won't sell because they know it's going to turn into a pig, like, right in time before the mole takes it out. Because the mole only does bonus damage to the building farm. The building farm is considered a building, and the pig's considered a unit. And the mole only gets extra damage against buildings. So, Olive, gotta just continue the game. No harm, no foul here with tier 2. R22 actually lost a little bit of money, I think, with keeping that mole around for too long. Because the mole warren, moles are probably the most controversial tooth and tail unit of all time. I mean, over like the 6 years of casting this game that I've been doing, you know, we've seen the moles like really change in several iterations. In the current iteration of the mole, I mean, obviously, they've always wanted the mole to have that core identity of being able to build anywhere on the map. So to balance that out, nowadays, the idea is, well, the mole warren loses HP with every unit that gets built, and it doesn't regen. So your mole warren will not sell for a full refund as all the other warrens do. Got an attack coming in here, though. Urbane Olive really trying to push up. That cam goes down. And Urbane just looking to put on some aggression. I mean, he's got some squirrels, got some moles. The only kind of greed move that R22 did here was go for 2 tier 2, which Urbane is not even aware of. I think this is just what I call like a shoulder check move, you know? Like, Squirrel Skunk is just strong. And he won a little bit of a scuffle in the middle of the map, so decides, okay, let's build some moles. Like, Skunk is just such a great offensive unit, because it's almost like a ferret in the way that it's a siege unit. Like, a lot of people don't think about the Skunk as a siege unit. Cam going down there, and the Skunk does go down, so that might end some of this aggression, but a lot of squirrels still remain, so Olive is just going to look to trade as much as he can. And what a great example of, you know, aggression kind of done right here from Olive. You know, attacking in this game is very hard because positioning matters so much. And oftentimes the real defender's advantage is the positioning advantage. Just because you lose DPS as you're moving. But Olive there, I mean, able to push in, obviously is very back and forth, but I feel like Olive took the better engage. R22 is still trying to do some cam shenaniganery, but hasn't quite got anything done with it yet. Oh man, if Olive just finds those cams, he's looking for him. He's looking for him hard. Oh, but the flank comes in, R22. However, no units from the front to support the cams. A great angle on the cams, but he really needed his tier 1 to come in at the same time and just didn't have them. So Olive is able to clean up all 4 cams and keep the skunks alive, which is really the irreplaceable part of the army. And now R22 is going to be stuck in an awful position of having those cams supply blocked virtually forever if Olive keeps the pressure up, because every time R22 gets 20 food, it's just going to go to a tier 1. So yeah, R22 going to sell off some Warrens here to try to keep the cams going. Olive is not going to put the pressure on after that. He's just kind of coming back, getting into that second base. Does he know that R22 started a second base? Doesn't, but it's the 5-minute mark now, so... Even though... Okay, there's a scout, so both players actually scouting the second bases. Yeah, at this point, you have to. Like, it's cool. I love these more aggressive matches than both players kind of sitting there, you know, getting up to 16 farms very quickly. But the 5-minute mark is kind of that moment where, you know, both of you have to look at each other and be like, all right, you know, let's take a step back. Let's build up some farms. Ooh, Olive's going to try to catch these cams. Oh, he wants it so bad. R22 with the jukes, though. Oh, he gets one. Okay, hey, I'll take it. Take what you can get. Oh, such good control from R22. Only gets out with 2 chameleons, but that's better than losing all 4. Gonna be forced into what looks like a favorable engagement here from Olive. Again, just the squirrels in a good firing position. Exposed Warrens now. Olive is going to keep pushing forward. R22 has a better economy, but in these sort of scrappy situations, you really don't want multiple tier 2 Warrens. Because that's kind of like 240 food for R22 that's not doing anything. It's going to be hard to ever build those camps. Olive is pushed forward enough, though. He's able to break out and take game number 1. And we will hop right into match number 2. Okay, in the top right, R22. On the left-hand side, Urbane Olive. Similar comps from both players. Don't remember if Olive had snakes last time around. I mean, we really just we saw Squirrel Mole Skunk versus Squirrel Mole Cam, really. Surprisingly enough, R22 not taking the moles. I think this is the first time we've seen R22 not with moles today. Kind of a weird map. Yeah, I'm just kind of thinking about the map as the game gets started. I mean, R22 is really tough to attack the main base, but he's going to be forced probably to take this as a natural, which is a lot more direct. So I think really the points of congestion, the conflict, I should say, will be this natural from Olive and then this natural from R22. However, backdoors are open on both sides. No lizards to really take advantage of that, but with moles, with chameleons, you can still, you know, kind of make some weird things happen. So, quick tier 2 from both sides. This makes sense. I mean, one thing that makes Tooth and Tail so fun is you really got to play the map, and both sides are looking at this and just like, man, if I take a mill, it's just really exposed, so gonna go into some tier 2 instead. Double tier 2 out of R, and double tier 2 out of Olive as well. Just gotta give this game a few moments to get going. But it looks like the emphasis is going to be on one base play. Olive's going to come out here and try to esports with the snake. Might be able to do it. The skunk is really not what you want to try to shoo a snake away. Really what Olive is going to be worried about is Commander dying. Also, this cam might just kill the snake. Yeah, the snake comes a little bit too far forward. And that cam is going to get the kill, so... Unfortunate there for Olive, but he tried. Oh, the pig! Oh, the pigeon comes out to heal the pig. Look at that. Oh my gosh. Like, the pig would have been a great consolation prize. So now that Olive knows chameleons are out, probably going to be a little bit more careful with the snakes, not try to do anything like that. Falcons could really abuse this here. I wonder if the falcon... Yeah, I think the falcon can shoot these pigs if they're out like that, but it's also kind of risky to put your falcons in that sort of position. Nice scout here from Olive. Just sees R22 is going for a lot of tier 2, same as Olive. No second bases, so this is going to be a weird match. There's the second base from R22. And Boar coming out for Olive, which is going to get scouted immediately by the looks of it. No, maybe he gets DPS down fast enough. He sure does. Olive just going to go all in with the Boar. Probably going to be happy to see this mill here. Oh, actually doesn't see it. Runs right by it. Sees a lot of tier 2. And a lot of it's falcons, so... But Olive's got his own falcons. It's going to come down to the engagement. I mean, Olive is going to... He's kind of got 2 units he wants to micro. I mean, mostly the snakes, but he also kind of needs to micro the Boar a little bit. You know, pull it back, send it forward, that sort of stuff. You know, if Olive can basically snake down the opponent's falcons, and maybe chameleons as well, then the Boar can kind of clean up the rest of the shop. R22 is just going to go for it. He hasn't seen the tier 3, but maybe he's just got the star sense to know that is coming. Strawberry in the chat. How's it going, man? Good to see you. It's so funny, like, just hold that thought. But R22 coming in. Again, hasn't seen the tier 3, but knows something is probably happening. Like a tier 3. Oh, the commander goes down, though. That's absolutely huge. R22 starting to get a little bit of work done. And now the problem is with these economies. Oh my god. I was getting worried when that mill started taking damage. Okay. I don't know. I mean, I would love falcons, but I don't know if Olive can get falcons. R22 still has a surprising amount of tier 2 left over. And man, Olive's got one good push left in him. The pigeons here are making those skunks just really amazing tanks on the front line. I don't know if Olive can really break this. The falcons are exactly what you want against the Boar. But yeah, R22 is going to push in. It's taking it nice and slow because this is such a low eco game. Really just letting those pigeons heal everything up. And with that Boar going down, so too do Olive's ambitions to win this game. GG. R22 ties it up. Good to see you, Strawberry. I think that's fun about this channel. I don't really stream much anymore these days, but I just try to help cover some events for the community and stuff. But it's always cool to see people pop in from like 4 or 5 years ago and say hi. And Strawberry's one of them. Strawberry used to cast way back in the day with me and some of the other community members. In the bottom, Olive, and up top, R22. Old men crawling out of the woodwork, yeah. Still muttering about buskets of squirrels. Oh my god. How much is a busket? Like 20? Something like that? Trying to... 20 plus, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I remember that meme. Olive coming in here with some moles. Nice spot to try it with that high ground, but Olive's just kind of known. He's like the modern day DJ Soak. Like, he's just kind of known as the molar. So people are probably a little bit on edge against him. Oh, okay, forces a sell. even is Olive base. There it is. Alright, Boar Fox this time around. I think I was actually playing with a very similar deck to the one Olive used. I did not do well in this tournament, man. I had fun though. I didn't practice super hard. I did good in like. What's crazy is like I played a few warm-up matches and I just slammed. Like I went like 5-6-0 against some really strong players, and then my performance just was not that great. But I normally honestly just join just to like help round out the numbers. I'm not a tooth to tail try hard nowadays. I prefer casting. This is my casting game. This is the game for me. What we're doing right now. This is how I play Tooth and Tail. Alright. One base boar. Now this can actually work if the rush distance is long enough. I'm worried about the moles here. R22 sees a tier 3 Warren. Oh my god, this is so risky from Olive. What's Olive got to defend this? He's trying to desperately build some moles. The pigs are helping. Alright, he wards it off. Again, I mean, a fast tier 3. It's actually something I used to do a lot back in the day when I was being competitive with this game. Was I would go very fast Foxhorn off one base, and it's a lot harder to break than you think. Like, R22 got some damage on there, but I mean, he even had moles, you know, that he still like could not break the attack. But he knows what's coming. He's building a lot of falcons to try to defend. And this is a really smart move from R22. He just knows that he's got plenty of time before this boar comes out. He's got plenty of time to get out his tier 2. So he's investing really hard. I would actually not even build tier 1 yet. I think you wait till all the tier 2 gets paid for. Oh, he built a pigeon warren. Interesting. So 4 falcons can take a boar. The question is, can 2 skunks take 12 squirrels? Maybe with defender's advantage. And with R22 coming out here, trying to get some pre-gas and stuff. Can't lose the skunk though if that goes down. Oh, this is looking a lot better for Olive now. Olive coming in with the Giga Chad boar. And the falcon's moving forward. The falcon's actually trying to snipe off all the squirrels to leave the boar helpless, but that didn't work. The squirrels in these kinds of numbers are going to do just fine trading against the falcons. But that is game. Olive with a very fast tier 3 warren takes the map, and I think the main reason that the tier 3 worked so well was mostly the geography of the map. I mean, if the map's kind of big and awkward enough and the rush distance is far enough away, like you can get a quick tier 3 like that and it'll work out. It's game number 4. R22 in the bottom left, and in the top right, Olive. Same deck, I believe, from Olive. And I think same deck from... No, R22 didn't have... No, he did have moles last game, yeah. So again, another big awkward map. This actually might make a really cool macro game. This is like kind of weird for Olive to get here, but as long as R22 can't have used this, it doesn't really matter. I mean, Olive's got to be pretty happy. He's got 3 bases, nice and tight on the high ground. He's even got a little bit of water protection. R22's in a similar position. Only 2 bases here, but this is essentially a pocket base. Very, very defendable. R22 with a quick mole warren here. But I think the difficulty for R22 is going to be that he's going to have to get out here on the map to establish a third base. So if Olive does want to play a big, high economy game, he's going to have the advantage because it's going to be a lot harder for R22 to start claiming this area. Now R22 is coming out with a little bit of a cheeky squirrel rush. Won't quite get the pig. Nice try there, though. But on the flip side, like, if R22 does get a third base here, then it really sets him up to get the rest of this real estate up top. And kind of win the game. But I think that Olive might be able to leverage the 3-base advantage a bit better than that. Olive going to try to be sneaky down here. Gets caught. Try to build a mole there to deny that base. So Fast Fox out of Olive again, taking advantage of the awkward map. And the fact you can kind of just get away with this a little bit easier than you think you can. Let's see how Olive wants to respond. I mean, the problem is that, I'm sorry, how R22 wants to respond. The problem is that he doesn't really have a good response against Fox. I mean, the Falcons, the Fox is great against. You know, he doesn't have any fast units. He doesn't have the Snake. Maybe a Badger push. He's going to try to attack before the Fox gets out and just bank on the resources that Olive has invested into a tier 3. But I don't think this is going to work. I mean, you kind of need a bigger advantage than just some sunk resources into a Warren to be able to push. And you can see Olive is swatting this away pretty easily. Keep in mind, too, that those army numbers were very similar because R22 spent 120 bucks on a mill and a farm, right? So now Olive's in a great spot, and R22 just doesn't have any good anti-Fox repellent spray in his deck. I mean, no build, no structures. Mass tier 1 can do it. But if Olive gets out here and starts like esportsing with this Fox, this could get really bad. The thing is, it's not the easiest thing to do in Olive's position. Like, to attack in here and pick things off with the Fox. There's not really a good, you know, kind of angle. Like, you gotta run through the water here. You gotta be in the low ground, which is kind of scary. You know, if R22 really just keeps most of his units right there. Not too close to where the Fox can just be on the high ground over here and shoot in. Another option would be to try to run around this way, but you can get pretty punished as well. But Olive's army is looking super solid at the moment. Doesn't need a ton of value, just needs to hit a few things. Oh, this high ground vision here is actually quite nice. But this is what I was worried about, that water. Yeah, just on the retreat. That's exactly what R22 needed. That Fox comes in, and before Olive can make it to the GSL with that thing, goes down. But that happens. Gonna shake it off and build another Fox. Gonna try again, yeah. Not through the water this time. Really, this seems like the only harassment angle with the Fox, but I think what the Fox can really do is deny R22 from ever really getting set up here. And against the Badger army, especially if R22 builds a ton of Falcons, I mean, that's where the Fox shines, is against the Falcons. And even against the Badger army, like, it's kind of surprising, but I feel like the Fox does well as long as the Fox can kind of start shooting the Badger army as it moves out, if that makes sense, and just getting that value over time. Olive's just going to go for it, though. Did he ever scout the Tier 3 Warren? He did, yeah. So he's going to try to punish. And again, Foxes eat Falcons for breakfast, so... Ooh, a little too far forward there with the Fox. And Olive's just going to go in. Skunk Gas is doing quite nicely against all the Tier 1. The Olive forces are able to get up on the enemy's army, however, going down, and the Badger is able to come out. And R22 takes the match, tying things up. Yeah, those couple Fox deaths were quite nice for R22 there. Game number 5, 2-2 here. The winner of this, qualifying Moving forward to the semifinals. In the bottom right, we've got Urbane Olive, and in the top left, R22. Olive with the Badger this time around. I love that play at Olive. I mean, just changing it up is a really powerful skill in Tooth and Tail if you're able to do that. Because Olive's shown, you know, he's shown Fox, he's shown Boar, now he's got a Badger. I mean, you never know what tier 3 it's going to be. Olive maybe just feigning the aggression here. Oh, throws one down. See, this is what I'm talking about. Like, does this... Alright, I'm even gonna pause, but, like, this is what always impresses me. Like, does this pig finish in time for the mole? I actually say yes, it does. I think it does. Was that last game the double fox throw? Yeah, it was. It was. Yeah, it's alright. It happens, man. But, I mean, I think, yeah, this pig finishes, right? Like, even if the mole comes out and hits it, like, if you just stand your ground, I feel like it finishes. Oh my god, the defense. Okay, it definitely would not have finished. See, that's the kind of stuff you gotta know, man. Like, it was like a second, it was like not even close to finishing. I was way wrong about that. I was ready to stand my ground with that pig. But Olive would have certainly got it if he was mole rushing me. The reason R22 was able to defend, though, was with his own mole rush. It's so tight. Like, maybe you need the pig, like, right there, you know, like... It's hard for me to tell just the exact seconds on how much is left on the farms. Alright, so... Going into the early game here, 8 farm doubles from both sides. A little bit of an advantage there from R22, for kind of winning the mole war a little bit, but not the end of the world for Olive here. And this is a weird map, for sure. All of this is just nothing. The leftovers of a music festival in the deserts. R22 just making a busket of squirrels, as they say. And skunks for both sides actually feigned all those tier 1 warrens and went into his own tier 2 there. Which is kind of interesting, because it's like, what did that feign really accomplish? I mean, you got Olive to build skunks, but you're building a lot of squirrels anyways. I think Olive's just fine here. Skunk needs to get out, but it should be out in time, especially because R22 didn't commit. Ooh, R22, speaking of not committing, he's certainly going to now. He's got the mole worn down, probably waiting for his own skunk. He does have quite a big squirrel advantage. Let's see how much that makes a difference. Oh, great micro from Olive, able to get out some pre-gas, keep the skunk alive, and I think Olive's going to hold this just fine. Olive just with more moles rather than squirrels here, so keeping that skunk alive was very huge. As long as it doesn't die in the gas, okay. Comes back, sells off that mole warren. That's a little bit extra value there. Yeah, good hold from Olive. Alright, second base on the way for R22. And Olive's is as well. And a bit of a sneaky spot, but R22 does find it. Lots of tier 2 on the way for both sides, so maybe we chill a little bit here, get up some farms, get out some higher tech units. Nice thorough scout here from R22, just looking for any kind of hidden tier 3 or something. I don't anticipate we'll see a tier 3 just yet. It's an option, I mean, and it's pretty easy to do. Just like sell off a tier 1 Warren and, you know, have a couple extra scraps laying around. You pretty much have a tier 3 Warren. Olive is going to go right into a ton of Falcons though. Might be getting caught in the middle of this transition, however, as R22 is going to push in. Will the Falcons be enough on the defense? Only 3 of them out, but the Skunks are really helping as well. Olive appears to be just fine. Falcons are like the craziest unit in Tooth and Tail. There's such glass cannon. If you put it, really, the game's just so much about positioning. If they're in the right position, they can just absolutely mow down the enemies. If they're in the wrong position, they can die immediately, cost you the game. Olive feeling a little froggy here, though. Might be going out for a counterattack. Oh, if these cams get revealed, that'd be huge. These Skunks getting caught. Not going to go down, but taking some hits. And the Falcons are a little bit too exposed. Olive trying to pull them back now. Does he commit? I'd say get a Warren and get out. Oh my god. That Warren is still alive. There he goes. Okay, well, the Skunk goes down at least. And I don't think this is going to work out for Olive. He overstayed his welcome. He didn't quite burst that Warren down fast enough. Oh, actually, the Falcon's still alive in the air. R22 just lacking units that can shoot up. Olive pushing forward. Gonna try to prevent R22 from resolving the problem that he can't shoot up by destroying those Warrens. Last Falcon still strong in the air, though. Olive very supply blocked onto tier 2. Doesn't quite have the economy anymore to afford 4 tier 2 Warrens, but getting so much work done with this Falcon. Can he even maybe keep the Falcon alive if he, like, burrowed home and then rallied it? But no, Duke's gonna stay in. Oh my god, that Falcon, 3 HP. Yo, R22 gets cleaned up by some good micro from Olive and the decision to just stay in, to stay on the ground and to finish it up. Puts Olive on game point here. That's what I was saying. Like, Falcons are just so strong. Even a couple Falcons there just shredding. Alright, here we go. This could be the last match of the series. Up top, R22 desperately needing a map win here. And in the bottom, Olive looking to get one more dub and carve his way to the semifinals. Turret, actually, here from R22. Interesting decision. On paper, not so great against moles. However, if you just build like a ton of turrets, if you have kind of a little bit of a wild playstyle, I mean, it can still be really great. Oh yeah, the turret, of course, yeah, really good against the mole in the early game. So he drops the moles in lieu of turrets, and the turret just kind of helps defend the mole rush, I suppose. And for once, we don't have an absolutely crazy dumpster fire of a map. This is a pretty straightforward map here. Honestly, though, looks a little tough for R22. Another mole rush attempt for Olive. The reason I say that is Olive can... look how defendable this is for Olive, right? Got the natural base. And all this nonsense right here just makes it really hard for R22 to attack in at this angle. He'd have to come up here, maybe, and then loop around, and he's still going from low ground to high ground. This is okay, but again, with this ridge here, a little bit tough to actually get in there. So, Olive is very defendable, but then also for R22 to expand, he's got to take this one right here in the middle of the map, and just kind of reducing rush distance even further on an already small map. Like, once R22 takes this, the territories will be touching. They will be holding hands. And if not, they'll be very close. Now, R22 does have turrets, which can be amazing if he, like, sets them up here, you know. But Olive could, in theory, again, I mean, they don't stop Olive from attacking from other angles, is the problem with these turrets. Let's see, R22's got his signature fast cam. Could maybe get something done. Would love to just kind of snipe that pig. Gonna look for some pig to snipe somewhere. Olive is hip on this, though, but is gonna lose the pig anyways. It's so hard to prevent that, to be honest. The best thing you can try to hope for is to kill the cam on the way out. And at least trade pound for pound. But Olive gets a lot of tempo here. Takes a good trade. This might be a very short game. Some emergency turrets are going to go down. Not going to protect the mill. But will prevent Olive from pushing all the way in. Oh, wow. Even builds farms here. These farms are way too bold. This mill is probably not long for this world. So you're just saying, hey, you're going to get additional money from taking out this mill. Cam's coming in. One Falcon goes down, both cams are down. R22 actually is holding, he's pushing back. I think Falcons were a little too exposed there. I think Olive just kind of got caught off guard by those cams. He wasn't quite expecting those. And R22 gonna hold, and I guess good decision making to build those farms, right? Now he's got them pumping. Olive gonna catch up though on the economy. Olive gonna try to be a sneaky boy. This is dangerous. Even if this works, the Falcons are gonna be way out of position, and at the same time, R22 is doing the same thing. His tier 2 actually forces R22 back. Gets one piggy, trades it for the Falcon, but that's actually a good trade. I mean, it's hard to explain. It's like, it's a tempo advantage for R22, but an overall better advantage for Olive, because killing a pig and trading evenly for it is monumental, because now there's all the lost mining time while you're rebuilding that pig. Or he even isn't. The only time that trading units for economy is ever bad is when the tempo loss allows the opponent to attack in. And R22 gonna lose the commander, but these chameleons are still gonna get work done. A mole warren goes down, a pig goes down, and they're gonna get out scot-free. Badger on the way for Olive, and a wolf on the way for R22. I kind of like the wolf better, to be honest, if you have the Falcons to support it. Because the wolf buff Falcons are just going to shred down that Badger super fast. Sees the Badger. And Olive has not... Oh, Olive has seen the wolf. I think Olive actually saw the wolf quite early and was building the Badger in response. So is R22 going to try to hit before the Badger's out, is the question. Super fast cams. Gonna come in here and try to get rid of the Falcons. Smart move there from R22. Might lose the cams for it, though. Olive's really trying to get the decloak. Oh my god, the wolf goes down immediately. But the wolf buff still remains on these units and is going to allow R22 to clean this up. Oh my god, we've got such a game on our hands. It's a really scrappy army. R22 needs to get out of here. Okay, he kills the pig. The Badger will be able to clean all this up, though. He's going to get out with the Falcon, at least. We're in a very fun situation now. Is the Badger going to be enough? I don't think... my money's kind of on R22 right now. With the Falcons, with the cams. The question is, how much more time does he get to prepare? No pigeons are out yet. The Badger is a lot less scary when he's not... when she, rather, is not tucked into a big army. Because you actually can burst it down pretty quickly. R22 gonna try to go for the burst, and it is gonna go down, and R22 pushing across the map. And we are going to a game number 7 here. What an epic series on our hands here. The winner of this going to the semifinals. The loser of this still entertaining all of us with this great series. in the bottom, R22, and over to the left, Urbane Olive with his own wolf this time around, with the boar as well. Now, I don't think the wolf actually affects the boar, right? Like, the boar doesn't deal more flamethrower damage, it just moves faster, doesn't it? Could be wrong. I don't think the flamethrower does any more damage if you have the boar buff. Generally speaking, though, you really want the wolf on your falcons anyways. By the way, 5-farm Lizard Rush on a big awkward map. This is a great opener for R22. Olive will see it. And the lizard was supply blocked a little bit from that queued farm, so R22 wasn't super committal on that. Olive's not even scared. Olive just went 8-farm. Like, he saw the Warren. Just gonna build a mole to deal with this? Yeah, the mole. You kinda need 2 lizards to do anything. 2 lizards on a corner pig. Get the job done. R22's gotta wait for that second lizard. The mole's here, though. I don't think he gets the pig with the mole here as well. Oh, it's so close, and he does get the pig. Yeah, mole just not quite dealing enough damage compared to a squirrel. But honestly, I mean, R22 put his economy back to do that rush. So things are probably pretty even. Like, with the 5-farm Warren, you really need to get a little bit of damage done. And Olive didn't delay his farms at all. Olive did sell that Mole Warren, though, which would be a little bit of extra food. Both sides building into a quick skunk. Very safe opener. I think it's strong on offense and strong on defense. Okay, we're getting second bases as well. Olive a little bit greedy here with that second tier 2 Warren. I don't know if R22 will punish it, but he is aware of it at least, so he knows he can match the greed if he so pleases. Either with additional tier 2 or more farms. Let's see what the choice is going to be. Looks like another tier 2. Gonna probably get his own falcons. Yep. So overall, the build order looks a little bit cleaner for Olive. This is such a big, weird map. And honestly, it's a tough map for R22 because he's got no third base option. Olive just can kind of pretty organically continue expanding this way, away from his opponent, into more and more bases. I mean, R22 could try to take a ninja over here somewhere, but it'd be hard to defend. Not impossible. If R22 really controlled this area, it'd make it a lot easier, but there is... Actually, there's not an attack path this way. I figured there was just by kind of glancing at the map, but looking at it closer, there is no way to get from here to here. So that makes things a bit better for R22. It lowers the defender's advantage, but in theory, if we do get a macro game, R22 can get the third base over here and try to protect it by controlling this area. Because this is the only way in and out for either side. It's a one attack path Andy map. That's what we're doing here. Alright, tier 3 from both sides. I mean, pretty mirror builds. Double tier 3 out of Olive, let's go. The greed. Olive is being a greed meister this game. A greedy Gary. And R22 can't get in there to scout. Really, the only thing that R22 can do to scale is just more and more falcons, right? You get 4 skunks. 4 might even be too many. Like, we don't really see any tier 1. I can see 4 cams. 4 cams is a good front line. Oh, R22 sneaking by. Oh my god, huge scout. Huge scout by R22 there. And R22 even rallies the Falcons over. And Olive commander is in the base of R22 right now, and he... Oh my god, R22's not letting him go back either. He actually had lizards on his commander. Dude, and he just lost both those tier 3 Warrens. Holy moly. Rebuilds them immediately. What a gamer move from R22. Good lord. The quick decision making as well after he found those tier 3 to rally the Falcons over. And then on top of that, R22 is harassing Olive's commander with the lizards, like really trying to prevent him from rallying or from burrowing back home. R22 feeling pretty confident right now. Starting to move up. He's got his boar. Can Olive defend this? Oh, man. If he had that double tier 3, probably. But I think R22 is going to push through here. So many Falcons in the air. So much green on the screen here. Second base has not gone down yet, but yeah, the advantage is just too much here for R22. Olive, I don't think is going to be able to rally again. No tier 1 either. That's another thing with these big greedy comps is like, once the fight happens, I mean, that's kind of it because you can't rebuild. And GG, R22 will be advancing to the semifinals here on a very, very close series, 4-3 over Urbane Olive with a really great Falcon snipe on some double tier 3 Warrens there right at the very end.